All right. Hey guys. Welcome back to Sun Crypto. In today's content, we'll talk about BTC on a macro view. We'll take a look at BTC on a quarterly basis, all the way down to the weekly time frame, and we'll take a look at the total market cap, right? Basically, the crypto total market cap. Based on the macro view and all that good stuff. Okay, because even though BTC broke below the monthly 21 EMA, the total too, it is still holding above the monthly 21 EMA. So bears will need to do a they will need to break the monthly 21 EMA on a total too. Okay, in order to basically get the whole crypto space down to the abyss, right? If they can, right? So let me do a sound check, make sure the sound is good. So if the sound is good, guys, let me know. Just say 589. Hey, what's up? Bella Jisu, thanks a lot for tuning in. We got Fantom say in the house, thanks a lot for tuning in. Mr. Shu in the house, thanks a lot, man, for tuning in, guys. Hamza Moonboy in the house. All right, so just say 589, right? 589, so I know the sound is good. So hopefully you guys enjoy the volatility to the downside, right? And most of you guys made good profits on your coins or in USD, it doesn't matter, right? So let's go back to the quarterly time frame. Okay, so just to review the quarterly very quickly, on a quarterly basis, we just said as long as we above our quarterly 21 EMA, we good, because our bull's next directional target, it is still up to all the way up to 100K and all that good stuff, so just need to be patient on a quarterly basis. If we drop low on a quarterly basis, we got the quarterly 21 EMA that could provide a strong support. As of now, it is at low 23K area. So now let's take a look at the monthly basis. The monthly basis, it is quite critical, right? Because we just closed below the monthly 21 EMA, and we've been talking about the monthly 21 EMA for for quite a while right now. Okay, so since like I think December, right, when we had our directional move down to the monthly 21 EMA, BTC was above like 52K, 55K, and all that good stuff. We called for the monthly 21 EMA support, and we said once we get there, we will wait for a correction, right? It could be any type of correction. Sometimes you just don't know. I keep repeating it because some people, like, they think like just because they got a they can hit the directional target, right? They can hit like the next correction pattern. Okay, I don't care about the pattern. Okay, all I care about like is the direction and the pattern. Once we get like enough data, then we can focus on the pattern. Like for instance, when BTC was at 52, 55K, we didn't know, okay, what type of pattern we're going to get there. We're going to get at the monthly 21, but we knew we're going to get a support. And once we get enough support, you're going to get enough data regarding volume, moving averages, support, resistances, and all that good stuff. And you're going to decide if the support is good enough, right, to provide a bounce, or if resistance is good enough to dump the price low, right? So always focus on the directional move first before focusing on the pattern, because I see like some people they like to draw a lot of patterns and all that good stuff, but sometimes it can let you down if what you're expecting in terms of pattern doesn't play out, and you're going to spend a lot of time basically trying to figure out another pattern, right? So something to basically keep in mind. So going back to the monthly 21 EMA, it's not a good sign. Okay, it's not a good sign in the short to medium term, but at the same time, it is not the end of the world. It doesn't mean like just because we below our monthly 21 EMA, we close below it, doesn't mean like we're going to zero. Okay, it is only a great opportunity to basically accumulate more BTC. That's the only way I can say it. There is no way to be panicking because we broke below the monthly 21 EMA. We seen it before. We seen it back in 2018. You know, if you sold your BTC after we broke below the 21 EMA, you know, we ended up getting a support at the monthly 50. Right here, if you sold at 6K, we ended up getting a support at the monthly 50 again. So, you know, we could be repeating the same pattern. If we go back to 2014, similarly, right, broke below, closed below the monthly 21, even pumped back up to retest the cycle, you know, that, you know, September cycle high right there, just about like a $500 before dumping down to like $200. Okay, so if you bought BTC even back in 2014 at $200, you don't care right now. Okay, you don't care about like if BTC going to be retesting the monthly 50 again. That's the same thing, you know, you could be saying like in the next like a 3 to 5 years. Okay, when BTC goes up to like 180K, you're going to be like, what I was doing listening to Send Crypto saying like, oh, wait for the monthly 50. I should just basically buy at the monthly 50, I mean monthly 21 as it said, right, and don't care about the monthly 50. But in the short to medium term, it is always very difficult, right, for most people, right, including myself, right, to not basically load a position down just to reduce the risk. All right, you see what I'm saying? Even though you know you're pretty confident like the trend on the macro view the next 3 to 5 years is up, right, but you're still going to be like, okay, let me just accumulate, you know, every 25, 30%, 15%, okay, stuff like that. Okay, whenever it dips, I'm gonna be accumulating at or below the monthly 21 EMA. All right, so, and I keep saying it, if you believe in BTC in the long to medium term, I mean, I would just say long term, right, 3 to 5 years or even 10 years, right, you should never be like waiting for a particular price level, because you just don't know. You just don't know if even BTC will break 30K. You just don't know. If sucker could basically pump like next month and break above like a 48, 50K and all that good stuff. And, you know, bulls going to be FOMOing. And once they start to FOMO, right? Once they start to FOMO, price action could basically even go crazy all the way up to some crazy prices, right? So it is always good to hold some BTC. And I've been saying it, accumulate the dips. Accumulate the dips. Yes, some people are going to be scaring you like, oh, it's gonna crash 60%, it's gonna crash down to 10K, but we've seen it before. Okay, we've seen it before. Not financial advice, but we've seen it before. We've seen it right here, 2018, 2019, 2014. Okay, so same game. Okay, you're playing the same game, you know, you should be winning all the time using the same strategy you've been using. Okay, so now we know the monthly doesn't look good in the short to medium term. We got our monthly support somewhere around like 25, 26K within the next like a few months. Okay, I don't know when it's when we could get there or if we're going to get there, but the direction on the monthly basis, it is still down till we get a macro reversal pattern. One thing I just wanted to add is like we've been talking about like flat correction forever now, right? And we should just be mindful, okay, regarding a potential flat correction on a monthly basis, not even on a weekly basis, right? But on the monthly, right? If you take a look at the move right here was a pullback, and what we're getting is another pullback. We don't know as of now if BTC will break below 34, 33K. If it doesn't, even if it breaks it, it could still create an expanded flat or even a running flat just like that. Okay, so be mindful. I'm just going to repeat it. Avoid, if you're bearish, right, great, all right, but avoid shorting BTC below like, let's say 35, 33K. Okay, just in case, right, we get the flat correction before retesting the monthly 50. The monthly 50 could be somewhere around like 30K. We don't know. That's the problem with the timing. You just don't know at what price level you're going to retest your monthly 50 EMA. The reason for that is that the volume, it is still low. If you take a look at it on Coinbase, right, the volume, it is still low. Okay, it is still low. Our quarterly volume last quarter, okay, the first quarter of 2022 was right around like 1.1 1.5 million, okay, 1.5 million. Right now we got like 380,000 BTC, okay, not million in USD, but BTC volume, right? So it means like we should get like roughly 1.1 million volume within the next like a 2 month. That's a lot of volume, okay? That's a lot of volume, right? So because the reason for that is like last time we got a 500,000 BTC volume was right here, right? We got like 600,000, and right there back in December we also got like roughly 500,000, okay? So, and if you take a look at the percentage move, right, was roughly around like 28% for a 500,000 BTC volume. So it means if we're going to get 500,000 BTC volume with a directional move to the downside, right, we could, you know, hit like a 39K. If we're going to, you know, get, let's say 1 million trading volume, right, in 1 month, that could be devastating, okay? That could be bad if the direction is down. However, if the direction is up, bang, you know, we could see a big pump, okay? So the volume we're going to get over the next like a few weeks or even month, in the next couple of months, going to be critical, okay? Because it has to break the trend, okay? Which trend am I talking about? I'm talking about the volume profile right here. We cannot go to zero when it comes to volume. We cannot go to zero. It is something that we just have to remember, all of us. Whenever volume decreases, right, price, you know, decreases or moves sideways, it is a, it is a reaccumulation phase. We've seen it back in 2019 right here before the capitulation. I showed you that multiple times. All right, so decreasing prices, decreasing volume, right, the trend most likely going to shift back to the upside when we get the spike in volume. Okay, when we get the spike in volume sometime within the next like a few weeks or even few months, I don't know. Okay, so I try not to time the market, right? So if we take a look at it on Coinbase, right, and I showed you the this type of a volume profile, guys, since like when? Since like 2019, okay, when BTC was, when BTC was like going up right here. What I was saying, like most people were looking at the weekly volume and they were like, okay, volume is decreasing and all that good stuff. But what I was saying was like volume moves in segment, okay? It cannot basically just move like linearly, like every single month you're going to get like 1 million trading volume, 1 million trading volume. It doesn't work that way. You're going to get a big volume, a decreasing volume, price decreases, and after you get your capitulation with a bigger volume, right, bigger than your previous downtrend right there, right? So you take a look at it right here. Back in 2019 we talk about it, decreasing volume, right? We were waiting for the 50% capitulation. If you've been following me, right, at least since 2020, we got the 50% capitulation with a big volume right here. Right now we're creating the same exact pattern, decreasing volume, right? Price is moving sideways, we're most likely going to get a big move, okay, in terms of volume. Okay, it is a very easy concept, okay, to always remember, right? And it is much easier to trade it on the higher time frame than trade it on the daily, because crypto is pretty volatile. So with all that volatility, if you want to basically trade it on the daily, that's going to be quite challenging. Okay, that's why most of the time you see me talk about what the 3D time frame. And if we take a look at the 3D time frame, right here, what we've been saying was like the directional trend, okay, is down. And when did we say the directional trend is down? Some of you guys new to my content, so I'm just gonna have to repeat it, right? We said it right here, okay? So most of you guys remember, and what I said was like, let's pack our bags, okay? Let's just pack our bags all the way down to when? All the way down to where? To our basically monthly 21 at 35K. Back then the monthly 21 was at 35K, because remember, it is a moving average. It is going to be trending up, okay? So we said it right here, and the reason why we said it was like, okay guys, let's not play against the trend. Let's not play against the trend. right here I was a bit complacent right there, and I was like, okay, oh, let's be cautious. That's what I was saying right here, right there. But after, you know, after that big move, I was like, okay, even though I knew it was going down, I was, you know, I was a bit, you know, complacent. Now I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be going to be aggressive. And if the trend is saying like we're going down, we're going down. Okay, and that's what I said right here. And that's what I said right here. The first candle at the bottom, right, the first breakout candle right here, that's when we got in our premium. And I was like, it's time to go to the moon. Right here, you take a look at it, the first breakout candle back in October, we said we're going to the moon. So the hardest thing sometimes is like to act upon your knowledge. You can know, you know exactly what's going on, but sometimes you might be like, okay, let me just wait, but we haven't been waiting at all. Okay, we just been acting you know, towards you know, the directional move and all that good stuff. Okay, so now going back to the 3D time frame, right, it's like MACD is negative, right, price is below the 21 EMA, the trend going to be down. Okay, MACD negative right here, negative right there back in December, November, right, whatever, right here, price action below the 21 EMA, the trend was down. Okay, so right here we nailed it right after the 2D crossover. We anticipated the 2D to cross negative also, right? So it doesn't mean, once again, it's a 3D time frame, market is volatile. It doesn't mean BTC cannot do anything like that, but all we're saying is as long as MACD is negative, the trend going to be down. I'm not talking about like 5%, 2% pump and all that good stuff. All these moving averages, they got to cross up again, right, in order for us to say, hey, it is time to go to the moon. Okay, it is time to go to the moon. Let's see, do this. Okay, we got to get something like that, at least on I wouldn't say at least on the 3D, but sometime on the 6-hour basis we can even get like early confirmation. But you know, it requires you know, attention to details to get the 6-hour macro reversal. Okay, so the 3D down weekly time frame, let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly time frame, we've been getting rejected at the weekly 21 EMA. Bulls did get, you know, they did get a nice chance for a higher push, but they could not stay above the weekly 21 EMA right there. So weekly 21 EMA was below the price action. MACD was positive in general, right? It is a bullish sign, but most of the time, since like we got a flat correction like that, right, sometimes you can get a bullish crossover but ended up getting a reversal. Okay, so even though it was on the weekly, it would be better just to follow it on the 2D, right, or 3D, because you're going to look for your negative crossover, and the weekly going to be lagging behind, right, because the weekly is a slower time frame. You're going to get your crossover you know, much slower, right? So you follow your 3D to get your crossover, or your 2D, right, to get your crossover, and you're going to be like, okay, since the macro trend is down and the 2D time frame is, you know, just crossing negative, most likely the 3D time frame will cross negative, and we could basically resume the downtrend momentum. Okay, so something to keep in mind, right? So daily time frame, nothing crazy on a daily basis. Yeah, something is crazy on a daily basis. MACD, it is still pointing down. However, we do have a daily wedge pattern, so I'm just being cautious, right? That's why I was anticipating like to getting into shorts much earlier, right? That way you're not gonna worry too much about these wedge patterns and all that good stuff, just in case, right, we get the move back up to the daily 100 EMA. So daily 21 up to the daily 100 EMA, it is still, you know, they still going to be providing temporary support if we decide to move sideways and retest the 42k area, or even 43, depending on volatility. That's the same setup we got right here. If you remember back in December, I was saying, hey guys, don't fall for this, right? We already got the bullishness, the move is over, it created the flat correction, we're going to dump down to our monthly time frame. That's exactly what I said. And Leroy was extremely bullish, right? at 52K, and I was like, okay, Leroy, just suck it up, wait for the 35K. All right. So, and most bulls, right, they basically started to draw a bullish pattern, something like that, and saying, oh, we're going to the moon. But I was like, okay, how about if we're going to get a flat, bullish divergence, something like that. It means like we definitely going to retest our monthly 21, and that's exactly what we had when most bulls were looking for the bullish divergence like that. So you just have to be cautious. As of now, we don't have any sort of like a bullishness on a daily, right? I mean, if you want to use your histogram, you could, but I don't like it, right? I don't like to use the histogram bullishness right here, because it'll just get you wrecked, I'm telling you. Okay, because as soon as we pump, you're going to use the histogram right here. It's going to tick green, and your MACD is going to flip bullish, and you're going to be like, okay, we're going to the moon, right? And you're going, you just going to get wrecked without confirmation. Okay, but what I'm not saying it cannot pump. All I'm saying is I don't see a setup to rely on. It doesn't mean you don't have a setup to rely on. You see what I'm saying? So if you have your own setup to rely on for a possible pump, just stick to it. But all I'm saying is I need a better confirmation to you know, on at least, you know, on the 3D to, you know, to look for a reversal. I'm not talking about like 5, 7, 10% move. Okay, I'm talking about like a reversal back to like a, you know, 60K, 70K, 100K, and all that good stuff, right? So keep that in mind, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum now. Dr. Howie in the house. Hey, what's up, Dr. Howie? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Dr. Howie is saying, do you like XRP or BTC? That's what it is. That's what it is saying. Okay. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum, we're going to start off with the monthly time frame. Okay. If we take a look at Ether, I mean, it is following BTC, but it is not following closely, right? Because BTC at the monthly 21 and Ether is not yet at the monthly 21. And if you recall back in December, you know, first week of December, guys, what we said, even before the yearly close, we said, guys, we're going to be targeting Ether probably all the way up to our monthly 21. Okay, just like BTC. Okay, mid 2500 all the way down to the monthly 21 at 2200 range. As you can see, it's been creating like high lows. It's great, but we're in a macro rejection. Okay, we just have to be cautious with those high lows. Okay, you can get high lows, but it doesn't mean you will reverse. And just to go back to BTC, right here, if you take a look at it, right, what happened back in December, right there, we've been creating like what high lows right here between December 13th right till late December. And if you recall, many analysts been saying like, oh, we've been making high lows, so we're bullish, we're going to the moon and all that good stuff. I was like, guys, that's not how it works for me. Okay, you zoom out, right, you zoom in actually, right, you can see like it was a flat correction. All right, so we were looking for the move right here, so I did not care about those high lows. All right, so keep that in mind. If we go back to Ether on the monthly basis, we're creating a, you know, a nice trend. Okay, you still got some high lows, that's great, but BTC, you know, BTC needs to hold support for Ether to be able to do anything positive over the next like a few months. Okay, we could be retesting the monthly 21 EMA at 25K, give or take, depending on volatility, right, and all that good stuff. And if we break it, we got some sort of support right here, just about like you know, 17 to 1900 range, depending on volatility. Okay, so in terms of Fibonacci, it might be too deep to talk about it as of now, right? But the next Fibonacci support going to be, you know, $1,000 right here. All right, that's going to be 382 based on swing low to swing high. But as of now, right, we'll just focus on the July lows, because I don't think like we will basically just break below the July lows without taking a temporary break to decide what we will do after that. Okay, I mean like bears or bulls, whatever. Okay, so you know this range right here going to be a temporary support. All right, and that could even be a zigzag formation where we're going to be pushing to the upside. We don't know. Okay, we just don't know you know, when we're going to get the bottom, right, for Ether and all that good stuff. But just have to pay attention to the macro view and all that good stuff, right? So another thing also to keep an eye on Ether is the okay, so the weekly 25 MA. Okay, so that moving average is saying right here, right? It is the weekly 25 MA. It is very useful, right, when it comes to Ethereum, right? Whenever we above it, we're in a bull market. Whenever we below it, we're in a downtrend, whatever you can call it, bear market and all that good stuff, right? But whenever we, you know, below it, we're in a downtrend. And I've been saying it since like the moving average was right around like 3600 range, right? And Ether was right around like 2400 range. And I was like, okay, if we break 2850, right, 2866, right, you better get out, because we could be retesting possibly the weekly 25 MA, right? Something like that, right? And we did retest like the weekly 25 and got rejected. Dump below the 3150 for Ether. Let's zoom in, right, on the 3D so you can see what I'm saying. So 3150, right, down to 2850. It is a midpoint, right? It is a pivot point for Ether, right? So above the 3150, it is, you know, it can be pretty volatile to the upside, and below it you just want to be, you know, below the 2850, you just want to be looking for a downside you know, downside target and all that good stuff. That's why as soon as we dump below 3150, I was like, okay, it is now a good time to start looking for lower prices, because we could dump like below the 2850 and we could get a greater chance, right, to even retest our monthly 21 EMA. All right, so Ether, you know, basically going back to the weekly time frame right here, you know, as long as we below the 25 MA, right, the trend going to be down. You take a look at MACD, it is still pointing down. You take a look at your RSI, right, it is still pointing down, right? So you know, we still need time, right, to get a directional uptrend for Ether. As of now, the directional move, it is down for Ether. Okay, it doesn't mean it can't go up in the next like a few months, right? Let's say in Q3, Q4, Ether could be pretty bullish. We just don't know where we're going to get the you know, going to get the bottom, where we're going to get the bottom at, right? But just, you know, we just need to be cautious over the next like a few weeks till we get a reversal pattern. I talked about it back in 20 give me guys 1 second. I talked about it back in 2020, and I was like, okay, that's going to be possibly our wave 1, and we could be looking for our wave 3 directionally, right, to the upside, something like that, and like that. We talk about it. Okay, so Ether pumped massively. Right now it is just correcting. It could be a flat correction, or it could just be a zigzag formation, something like that, right? Meaning like could be a WXY correction. We don't know. Okay, we just don't know, but we know the direction is down as of now, right? Right, so we're done with Ether, right? We're done with BTC. Let's take a look at, hey, what's up, Matthew? Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. I'm Satoshi in the house. Thanks a lot, man. Kashaki, Mr. Satoshi in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Quiet Cook, cooking some Ether in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. T-Dog loves the time frame for this live stream. I will try to keep it up if we can get more viewers, like, yeah, during the day. I will try to keep it up during the day, but I like night live stream. I stay up at night, so most of the time, so you know, but we will see. Okay, we will see. I just don't want to be making any promises for T-Dog. DUE, can you give a you know, short-term analysis for sand for an exit target? Got in at 193 today on the dip. Okay, let's take a look at sand on the dip before we talk about Ether Classic. So if you zoom out, you can see like most of these alt not looking really good. Okay, but in the short term, yes, you're going to get some sort of volatility, right? So if you get in at 193, right, you look for your, you know, 4 hour up to 6 hour, you know, 21 EMA to you know, to get out. If that's a trend you're looking for, you're just looking for a move to the upside. You don't care about anything else. Okay, so you might, can it go higher? Yes, it can go high. Okay, but look for, you know, up to 6 hour 21, right, to take profits, and look for another short-term setup. If not, you just put a stop loss, because I don't think like we will get a V-shaped recovery, right? It could move sideways within the next like a few days. It could be a flat, right? And you could even get another entry like that. Could get another entry around like a 187, 188 if it retested, right? Okay. So that's the 6 hour time frame for. Let's take a look at the volume. Yeah, on a daily basis, no sign of a reversal yet, right? Pretty, and at the same time, this is not a divergence. That's what I keep telling you guys. Most people are going to be drawing a divergence like that and saying like, oh, this is a divergence. I keep telling you, it is not a divergence. Okay, it is not a divergence. The divergence started right here, right? That was your divergence. Okay, that's your divergence right there, and you got the move after the crossover right here, right? You got a new trend, so you got to get a new divergence, and that new divergence has to print a new bottom and probably create a double bottom, right, or a lower low. Then you get your new divergence. But this point right here, you don't want to include it in your analysis. Okay, and I said it on BTC, right? I showed you guys on BTC multiple times, right? Let's go back to BTC. So that's what I was trying to show you right here on BTC. Let's take a look at it. I think it was on the 6 hour time frame, right? Right here. So right there, you got your divergence, okay, and you got your move. That's correct, right? After the crossover right here, you can't. I mean, I'm not saying you cannot. I mean, you do whatever you want to do, right? But what I'm saying, I cannot basically draw my divergence, right, from this point right here, because that move is already done. I cannot just draw it like that. Some people were drawing it like that, okay, like that. I was like, no, it's not a divergence. Okay, so you just have to wait. Okay, you just have to wait till you get a proper divergence. Okay, can you draw it like that, like this, right? You can, right? Can draw it like that. Okay, you can if you want to, but you just have to be very cautious, because you know, you already got a move right there and you got a negative crossover. So from this point, you got a new trend. That's my view. Okay, that's my view about it, right? Especially if you're looking for a macro reversal. Okay, you got a wedge pattern, yes, okay, but if it pumps to the upside, it is not because of the you know, you got a divergence right here, you're going to be pushing to the upside. It could just give you a flat correction and a move to the downside. Okay, that's the only way, you know, That's the only way I can read it right now. Okay, but just be cautious, right? Because you got a wedge pattern right here shorting BTC. If you did not enter, right, you know, last week or something like that, you just have to be very cautious, right now, shorting it, right? You got a wedge pattern, right? And bulls could try to you know, you could get this flat correction right here, okay, and then get this move. And if you recall last week, that's what we said right there, okay, right here. Okay, after we dumped, right, we went live and I was like, okay, be cautious right here, because you can print that flat correction, right? And that flat correction itself was a divergence. You got your divergence right here, right? So you did not pump to the upside because you got a divergence like that. Okay, you pump to the upside, right here, because you had a divergence. And you see the magnitude of the pump, it just followed the magnitude of your divergence. It was very small. Okay, Edward in the house, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. Edward is bearish based on market cipher. Thanks a lot, DUE. Right. Yeah, but it takes time to recognize these divergences. Okay, so it takes time, and you have to incorporate it. Sometimes, for instance, if you're bearish on your 3D, right, you just, your bias, you know, all your bias, right, have to be what, to the downside. You know, for instance, when we were bearish on the 3D back in you know, after we, you know, dump right here below 52, all my bias, right, were basically to the downside. So I was just looking for trade setup, you know, for BTC to take us down to the monthly 21. That's why it is very important to understand the macro view. So if you get your macro directional move, right, you will basically get your short to medium term trade setups right. You see what I'm saying? Because I cannot say, oh, we're looking for the monthly 21 and I'm going to be calling for BTC going to 60K. You see what I'm saying? Because I've been seeing like some people, like when BTC was at 52, they were calling for like 58 and all that good stuff. And I was like, 58 is not, you know, is not in the cards right now. Okay, you below your 3D, MACD is negative, you below your 3D 21. It's not time to be looking for a 58. Could you get like a scam wick? Yes, but in terms of like a charting, the chart wasn't calling for. Okay. All right. So the DXY, I mean, excuse me. I mean, T-Dog, you're in the premium group, so we talk about FTM. You know, I've been talking about FTM forever in the premium group, so you should know that. Stop sleeping and drinking coffee when you wake up. So, but FTM, T-Dog drinking too much coffee, man. FTM, let's take a look at right here. Yeah, hit the secondary support. Let's take a look at it on order layout. So FTM, if you shorted FTM as we said over the last few days or even weeks, since FTM was above $1, right? The directional target was calling for, you know, mid-range 69 to 73. We hit that target beautifully. As you can see, we're consolidating right now. Okay, are we going to continue down to the secondary support 50 to 55? Yes, that's possible, but it can still push back up to retest the daily 21, right? So if it retests the daily 21 before continuing to the downside, it is still going to be take profits right here, or, you know, add on to a short position. We got a big volume though. That's the thing. We got a big volume, so it means like it could move sideways. But if it goes back up to $1, let's say 95 to 105, and you bought the dip at 69 to 73 or even lower, you got it at 66, bang, okay, it's going to be take profit and flip for the next retest of the support. If we're going to get a flat correction, that's going to be nice, right? It means like we're going to get a higher confidence level. It could be continuing to the downside. If we get a triangular formation, something like that, it is still going to be good. We don't know what we're going to get, okay? We could get a wedge pattern, we don't know, okay? But if it goes up to the daily 21, that's going to be a great exit point, and wait for the wait for a few days or even weeks to get another good pattern. Because FTM, guys, we talk about it since like when, since FTM was right around here, since like February, when it was creating the flat correction right here. Okay, when FTM was creating the flat correction right there, that's when we flipped bearish on FTM. Okay, that's when we flipped bearish, and that was like back in February. You can go back and watch that live stream. What's going on? I think I said that live stream I was saying what's going on with FTM. That's the title, right? So back then FTM was nearly above $2, and we were calling for all these prices, right? 75% drop since then, right? So if you basically sold some right here, you might want to be adding back right here and wait for the next like a few weeks. You could get a nice scam pump, probably to print another reversal pattern. I don't know how that pattern will look like, but we will see. If not, we will discuss FTM on a lower degree, I mean on the higher time frame for other macro supports. I'm messing with you, T-Dog. I mean, like the yesterday update, I think on the 30th I updated Atom, FTM, Luna, Near, right? All of them, Solana, right? So let's take a look at the DXY before we talk about because the DXY on a macro view, it hit the resistance area we discussed like in our Telegram group, right? 103. The quarterly time frame just flipped bullish, right? It is at a macro resistance, right? I was looking for the 103 pivot point. If you take a look at the DXY, right, in terms of the quarterly basis, you can see like how these flat correction are so important, okay? Even on the DXY, you can see like what happened right here, flat correction, continuation to the downside, and basically gave us a scam pump right here back in 1985, pump all the way up to 165 and all that good stuff, okay? But the important thing to know is like 103, right, even up to like 107, right, it is a pivot point, okay? It could be in this range for the next quarter, we don't know, for the next few quarters, right? But since the MACD right here just flipped positive, that could accelerate, right, the momentum, okay? And it could go all the way up to like 120, right? But remember, we're talking about the DXY on a quarterly basis, so it could take like 4, 5, 7, 8 or even 10 quarters to get there. I don't know, I'm just speculating, right? So but right now we at we're at 103. Let's wait, right, to see if we're going to get a big rejection on a quarterly basis and keep the MACD on a quarterly basis to stay positive, okay? Because as long as the MACD is positive on a quarterly basis, regardless of if the DXY drops like 1%, 2% and all that good stuff, the trend on a quarterly basis, it is still going to be up, okay? It is still going to be up, okay? If it flips negative, whoa, we could be looking for a break, or let's just say retest of the trend line support at 93 right here, okay? 93, 94, depending on the timing, okay? I can't say like an exact price, but I would just say the trend line right here. That's the same trend line we got back in 2008, and in terms of wave analysis, it is making a nice 5-way structure. So until we break below this, until we break below the macro trend line 94, right, give or take, it could be pushing higher, okay? But the takeaway is like, give it time, like give it like 2 to 3 months, to decide if, you know, it will break below the 103. Okay, but as of now, bulls in control for the, you know, for the DXY. Okay, on the macro view now, I'm not talking about like next week the DXY drops down to like $100, I mean not $100, but 100, right? Or even like a 99, whatever, and you're going to be like, oh, we're dumping. Right? Got to give it like at least you know, a couple of quarters to get a proper setup. As you can see right here, even back in 2015, how long it took basically to break out to 103 right here. It created a flat correction like that, dump, pump, dump, and then pump to retest 103. So it stayed there like, let's say January 2015, basically till July, okay, 2016, you know, 18 months before breaking out to 103. So we don't know if it will create a similar pattern right here, you know, for the next like 2 years before going to that side, to the upside, right? We don't know, okay? But the macro view looks clean, right? Doesn't have much noise, but it is at resistance. So so let's see, you know, within the next few quarters. Coffee and typing in here. Yes, you can use the daily 21, but yeah, you got to get the proper setup. For instance, like for BTC, if price action just bumped it upside, right, without no pattern, even if it breaks the daily 21, you just have to be cautious, right? At least for me, okay? I don't trade the daily 21, you know, randomly, right? If you recall back in July 21st, exactly, right, when we broke out to the upside, if you remember my premium update, right, what I said was like we broke out above the daily 21. We broke out above the daily 21. Okay, as soon as we took out the daily 21 right here, I mean, even before we took out the daily 21, I was like, okay guys, it's time to get in. The reason for that was like it is at the same time it was a 3D reversal right here. It was a 3D reversal. So I was like, okay, we got a 3D reversal, our MACD is positive, right? And we got a bullish divergence right there. That's exactly what I told you guys. We got a bullish divergence, right? And MACD, you know, is positive right there. We got a daily close, you know, above the daily 21, right there. And I was like, okay, let's just take it. Okay, as soon as candle close, I was like, let's just suck it up. So you got to get the right structure, not just say, oh, the daily close above the daily 21. So if you remember right here, also back in June 2021, we shorted BTC at, you know, 40k, 41k right there, right? And price was already above the daily 21. Price was already above the daily 21, and you did have a nice bullish divergence right here, right? But we ended up, okay, we just said get out. Okay, so sometimes like it's not just the pattern, sometimes you just have to know you know what you're doing. That's the only way I can say it, right? Right here, when BTC was above the daily 21, we said get out, don't buy like somewhere around like a 43 to 46, but BTC was above the daily 21, MACD was positive and all that good stuff. But why did we get out? Because the 3D time frame, right, was still not that healthy, and we were getting rejected at the 3D 21 EMA, and we said we're going to be going down to 34, right? So sometimes just because price is above the daily 21, it doesn't mean we're going to reverse, because remember, you're in a downtrend on the macro view. So your daily 21 might not be something like you want to trust like 100% unless you get a proper setup. Hopefully it makes sense, right? Hopefully it makes sense, right? Right there we said don't get in, right? Get out, because we got in at 35, right? Right here we said get out 43 to 45k area, 46k area, get out right here. Right here we said get in, right? That was the you know, Ukraine invasion, and we said right here get out 43, you know, up to 46, it is just a resistance area. right? And you know, we were getting some price action above the daily 21. So just have to be very cautious whenever you know we above the a certain moving average, and you be like, okay, we're going to the moon. I mean, if the DXY hits 120, I'm not saying it will hit 120. Okay, I'm just giving you the macro directional move till we get a proper setup. And you are already a doom boy, T-Dog. Quiet Cook. Let's take a look at ADA USD. So ADA, even on the daily, doesn't look so good. Okay, so you got a curvature like that on the daily. It doesn't matter if you get it on the 2D, 3 and all that good stuff, right? Whenever your MACD gives you something like that, it's not a good sign. Okay, it's not a good sign. So we just broke support, so we need to hold the range between 75, right? 75 to 80 cents. Okay, 75 to 80 cents as of now. Okay, on a daily basis. Let's take a look at it on the higher time frame, right? The higher time frame, if we take a look at the MACD, we just got a negative crossover a few days ago. Okay, but your bullishness right there, okay, was right here. Okay, so that was the bullishness right there, and that move right here was just a pullback due to the bullish divergence, right? So, and we talked about it when ADA was even like around like 120 and all that good stuff. If you've been watching me, I was saying like 75 going to be your support. So hopefully you got out, you know, after the pump. So as of now, right, could it create another flat, a bigger one, something like that? That's possible, but it means this guy has to basically flip positive, right? It has to flip positive. If we're going to be pumping all the way up to like 120, this guy has to flip positive, right? But if we break the 70 cent support, you could rely on your Fibonacci, right? Swing low to swing high, right? We just hit, you know, 236, 382 Fibonacci based on swing low to swing high is pretty deep. Your swing low, you know, let's say 1.5 cents. Your swing high all the way up to a 340, right? If I remember well, $3, right? Whatever, right? 382 Fibonacci going to be somewhere around like a 43 cents. Okay, 43 cents. If we get a big breakout to the downside, right? On a monthly basis, we broke below the monthly 21 EMA, just like most alt. Some of them broke out below their monthly 21 EMA since like January. Okay, even though BTC just broke below its like monthly 21 EMA in April. Okay, so monthly, you know, monthly time frame, right? We below the monthly 21 EMA break out cleanly, right? So that could basically lead us down to the 382 if we get a high volatility. Okay, we'll see. Okay, in order to get a big reversal, macro reversal, right, we got to take out at least the monthly 21 EMA, okay, which is right now at 105. It is going to be a big test, right, over the next like a few weeks if we push back up to like 105 or even higher to the previous monthly resistance at, you know, 124, right, which is going to give you the flat correction we just talked about on a lower degree, like that. Like that. Okay, so that if you get the flat correction right here on your monthly basis, right, that's going to retest your monthly resistance. Okay, that's going to retest your monthly resistance, but I don't know if we're going to be strong enough to get there, but it will be pretty interesting if we do. But keep an eye on 43 on the downside until BTC you know, stabilizes, right? And 88 BTC, so not looking so so healthy. Next downside support 1400 sats. So you know, just hit the you know, just hit like 1950. Okay, just hit 1950, which was the previous resistance back in April 2019, 3 years ago. Okay, waiting for that drop. Are you waiting for that drop? I mean, you will get it. If BTC is to retest like the monthly 50 for more reaccumulation, you're most likely going to get it. But if not, you know, let's say BTC decides to reverse right now, you might not get it that easily. All right, I think this is it, right? Talk about ADA. That would reinforce your BTC running flat, you know, hypothesis. Let's see, what are you talking about? Bigaloni. Hope that BTC can brave now that the DXY is hovering under resistance. It would be interesting to see if BTC will make that flat correction. Oh, I see what you're saying, that flat correction on the monthly basis. Yeah, that's possible, but we will need at least, you know, a week or so, you know, to see. I mean, it doesn't even have to, I mean, it technically has to retest like this area, right, to, you know, to give us a cleaner flat correction, unless it wants to be a triangular formation. That's why I'm saying, like, sometimes you just don't know. It could even be something like that. It doesn't have to be a flat. Okay, it doesn't have to be a flat. It can be something like that, because it got another touch right there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. How about a triangular formation like that? Okay, it could be something like that, and not just on a monthly, but, you know, take a look at it on the 3 weeks. I think we're going to get a tough time until we get a big volume to clean up the chart. Otherwise, we could be getting like all sort of like a possible patterns. Okay, that's why I'm just sticking to the directional move. That's the most important, because the pattern, you could get like 100 different patterns, but you only can get 2 directions, up or down. Okay, so instead of basically spending a lot of time on your patterns, you spend like good enough time to figure out the direction, and you'll be like, okay, regardless of what pattern, you know, we're going to get, the direction won't change. Okay, until basically we get a new direction, because you can only get 2 directions. There is no such thing as sideways correction. Sideways correction is just saying, like, you know, I'm ready to get wrecked. But that's my personal view. Okay, it could be different for you. Okay, just because I'm looking at the market one way doesn't mean like you have to shift the way you're looking at the market. Okay, all right. Hey, what's up, Tyler? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Oh, glitch, let's take a look at glitch. I think glitch down to 0, right? Not yet. Okay, not yet. It is nearly at support right here. Okay, so the volume is low, so I would just, you know, accumulate right here, right, around the you know, 20 cents to you know, 14 cents range, and wouldn't worry too much until it retests like a 4 cents. Okay, below, I mean, after 4 cents, I wouldn't touch it. I would just accumulate it against BTC. If it retests like 4 cents, not financial advice, right? If it retests like a 4 cents, for whatever reason, I'm not saying it will, because this could itself be a macro reaccumulation, right? So you would just, get some, get some at macro support, and the next macro support right here, 4 cents. And if it retests the macro support, right, the secondary macro support, you just flip to the BTC chart. Okay, if you take a look at it on the monthly, right, you broke your trend line support. You got your 500 to 400 sats support, right, and volume is low, so that's a good range really to accumulate. Okay, and next support, it is going to be nearly 100 sats, right? So I wouldn't basically mess with it right here. If it break, below it, I wouldn't mess with it. Below 500 sats, just accumulate BTC, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't buy glitch, you just keep on buying BTC, because glitch got a probability, I would say 30% probability, right, to retest the macro level right here. That way, if it does, you got enough BTC to basically buy it, instead of keep on buying BTC, glitch USD, and it's gonna dump in USD and dump in BTC. You see what I'm saying? Probably, I don't know, it might not even dump in it might not dump in BTC, in USD, but it could be dumping a lot in BTC. You see what I'm saying? So you just have to strategize it and give it a macro view analysis, and be patient with it. Okay, because you're most likely going to get another parabolic move to retest the macro trend line like that. Okay, you're most likely going to, not most likely, but you got a pretty good chance over the next like a few months, right, to either get something like that. Probably, we don't know. Okay, we've seen this pattern multiple times, right, even on VeChain, right? That's why I was bullish on VeChain at let's say 50 sats, it pumped to 100 sats, we say get out, dump back down to 50 sats, we said get in, it pumped back up to like a 240, we said get out, it dumped back down to 70, 50 sats, we said get in, and it pumped all the way back up to 400 sats. So that's the same type of pattern. Let me show Leroy, something like that. Something like that. You see how VeChain did something like that. Okay, and that's exactly how we played it. So I think it is still a good buy at 500 sats, but it's up to you. Grundle Fly, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. Can you do TA on Polygon Matic? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now. End of the triangle by around the 6K area. Yeah, around the monthly 21, we always get a high volatility. So end of the around the monthly 21 before the capitulation, it is always a high volatility range. Let's take a look at Matic. It's already 1 hour, guys. So Matic, you just got to be patient with it, right? Just give us a negative crossover right here. That's not good, right? So don't use it as a divergence, okay? Like I know some people are going to be saying a divergence like that, right? Let me just do something like that. Matic. Okay, as you can see, let's remove this. This was my personal analysis. I don't want Leroy to see that and be extremely bearish. So you can see like Matic right here. I think we talked about it like a couple, like back in March, okay, I was saying like, okay, Matic directional trend is down, but it can still do something like that. It is, you know, if it pumps like to $2, it is still going to be a macro flat correction. But what it ended up doing is like this flat correction on the lower degree. That's all it did. Okay, but the directional trend, we talk about it since Matic was at all-time high right here. Okay, it started to dump. We say if we break below the 21 EMA on the weekly and 3D time frame, the directional move going to be all the way down to the July lows. Okay, possibly all the way down to the you know, 70s to 60s. Okay, so once again, it doesn't mean it cannot do anything like that and create another pattern right here before retesting it. That's possible. Okay, but you know, I would say the July lows. Okay, most alt already retested the July lows, most of them. Only the big cap alt like you know, Matic, right, Ethereum, right, let's see who else, BNB, right, they kind of above the July lows, and ADA, I mean not ADA, but not BNB but BTC, right? So let's just wait and see it, right? Because I just don't trust the move right here, even though it looks like a bullish divergence, because you got a double bottom right there and you're going to do something like that. You just have to be very cautious. Okay, just have to be very cautious. RSI is not participating you know, with the bullishness right here, so you only got a bullish divergence based on your MACD, so it could just be a short-term pullback. And your moving averages on your 3D are crossing negative on the macro view. That's a long-term you know, potentially, you know, a longer reaccumulation phase could be on the way. You just don't know if you're going to get it right here, you know, between this range, right, or if you're going to get it right here. But I don't see like a vertical mover. That's the only way I can, that's the only thing I can tell you. Okay, and follow you know, make sure to keep an eye on your you know, trend line support, trend line resistance right here also, right, on your 3D. Let's take a look at it on the weekly. Yeah, just hit the weekly 100 EMA though, slash monthly monthly 21. Okay, so even though it closed below the monthly 21, let's see. Okay, it closed below the monthly 21 also. So you know, any pop, right, could just be a short-term pullback. Okay, any pop could just be a short-term pullback. Okay, could we get a macro reaccumulation, something like that in this range? That's possible, right, between 60 to $3, right? That's possible, who knows? Okay, but that's your support range right here if it gets there. Okay, MACD just flipped negative also. Okay, Jimmy, CRO, let's take a look at CRO for wonder. So CRO, it kind of just dumped, right, out of nowhere. I think like just dumped like 15-20%, right? So monthly 21, it is right around like 25 cents. The 382 Fibonacci, right, I mean 50% pullback is somewhere around like 22 cents. So you got a good buffer of 25 to 22 cents, possibly, if you know it, you know, continues to drop to the downside, right? And you got your previous resistance right here. Okay, going to be acting as a temporary support. Okay, and we will see, right? I know Leroy is waiting for 9 cents, but we will see. I think that's you know, we don't have enough data to call for 9 cents, because you just don't know what you're gonna get right here. Okay, or a triple bottom, you know, and a pump, or a flat correction, a continuation, and a pump. But we will see. You don't know. Okay, but the trend is down. That's the most important thing to remember. even if you get like, you know, some 15-20% pullback, you're still going to need like few weeks to confirm the reversal. Okay, on the 3D we just got our most recent 3D crossover, just like most alt. Okay, so be aware. Okay, most of these alt, what they do is like, you know, they pump it upside, right, and they start to drop like that, right, and all of a sudden you're going to get a flat correction like that. Okay, so if you don't understand what's going on, right, you're going to be like, oh, we're going to the moon, we're going to the moon. Okay, but it is nothing but an intermediate pattern to give you your next leg down. Okay, that's what we got right here on CRO. So we're getting our next leg down. Just have to be patient till we get a proper reversal setup. Okay, and most of them, okay, most of these alt, even if you take a look at you know, this guy, right, you know, it's doing the same thing. Okay, XDZ. But make sure to accumulate. I mean, you can't accumulate all the alt. Just know exactly what you want to accumulate, right? And accumulate them and wait. Be patient. Be patient. All right. So I'm just gonna call it a day, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. Oh, pawn. If I don't check pawn today, Mr. Satoshi, make sure to ask too early, right? I mean, ask your question early in the live stream. So, I mean, which one it is, right? You got multiple pawn right here, so I don't know which one you're talking about. Yeah, that's another one right here for CRO, right? For Isaac, okay, Isaac RLC is creating this move to the downside. Okay, next support at, you know, 95 cents for RLC. Yeah. Pound USDT, pound getting pounded down. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, I can find 80. Doesn't have enough data, right? It doesn't have enough data, right? But it is down now 94%, right? So give me, guys, 1 second. So you know, it is below support right there, so at least wait for 50%. Yeah, you got 70% support, right? 70% below support, and you just have to wait again, right? You just have to wait again. If you accumulated at 0.02, 0.03, not financial advice, right? So you could wait for another 50% pullback below support. That's going to take you all the way down to like 1.5 cents, give or take, right? So in terms of a downtrend, you got your macro downtrend, something like that. So I would say, you know, wait every 50% dump below the recent support. Okay, that way you're going to get enough time to accumulate and going to get a good average. You know, sometimes, you know, they can dump 60%, 65 below support, right? If not, you just hold BTC, right? Marlon. Okay, let's take a look at that USDT. So dot created the same exact pattern right here. So it is triple bottoming right here. We got our negative crossover, so that was the bullish divergence. So this could be a new trend, and next support right here, right, already hit like nearly $15, right? 14, not nearly, it is at 15, nearly 14, low 14, right? So the low 11 to $10 going to be the next macro support for the possible, okay, possible macro flat correction. Okay, we will see if dot can pull it out with the macro flat correction for a big reversal. Okay, if not, we got the big reaccumulation phase we had back in 2020. If you remember, back in 2020 September October 2020, we were saying accumulate dot between $4 to $6, right? $4 to $6 right there was a big range, and we called for the $15 dot right there when dot was like around, like, let's see, I think like $4 to $5. We called for the $15. Okay, so the trend, it is still down. If we break $10 to $11, I would just be patient for like a few months to to see what market will print. Okay, and if we get, for whatever reason, okay, we break out above 23, that could basically give us some sort of like a bullishness, because all these moving averages could start to like a shift the entire momentum, right? So break above 23, you could start to celebrate. Okay, but not too early, but you could start to celebrate. Let's take a look at Litecoin I forgot about Litecoin for Kashaki. So Litecoin, pretty much similar to a dot, right? Triple bottoming right here, right? So next support for Litecoin, 71, right? And resistance, okay, all the way up to 130, and 130, it is the monthly resistance. Okay, it is the monthly resistance, and at the same time the monthly 21. So Litecoin monthly 21 could give us a tough time over the next like a few months, just like XRP monthly 21 back in 2020, 2019, and all that good stuff. Okay, so keep an eye on the monthly 21 as resistance, right? And if we break 71, we could be looking for the next Fibonacci at $44 at 0.786 Fibonacci, right? MACD monthly time frame, it is still bearish. Weekly, not looking so juicy. The range right here, it is a 50% pullback also. That's why I'm saying, like, we got a pretty good chance to retest the 0.618, unless BTC does something crazy, right? Push back up to like a 42, and Litecoin could try to create another retest of the 130 or the previous monthly resistance, simply the April resistance, right? That's my view on Litecoin. All right, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm just gonna call it a day. It's been over 1 hour, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream, and not just enjoy it, but making profits, right, off of these analysis. Okay, because our directional move over the last few months been the same, so there is no way you're longing, right, when we saying like we're going down. Okay, so even if you're not making paper dollar profits, you could be making like coins profit, meaning like your coins, right, are increasing because you sold at the top and you're waiting for them to retest lower prices, and you're making profits still, right? That's still profits, right? Even if you're not trading, you're still making you're increasing your holding basically. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching.